Hi, it's Judy and welcome back to my channel. I've been missing for a little while. The video you're about to see, I think I recorded probably in March, April 2023, and now we've just gone into February 2024 and I haven't videoed anything in between or posted anything in between, and I've kind of been missing in action, and I have to apologize for that, but very, very good reasons. As some of you may know, I have metastatic breast cancer, which means that it is incurable. And if you want to know the details of that, of my disease and how I'm coping with it and everything that's going on with that, I have a Facebook page where I post up regular updates on how I'm going, what's happening with my treatment and all of that sort of stuff. And I will put the link in the description box below so that you can go and have a look at that if you want to know. But to cut a very long story short, because this video is already long enough, I was very ill for about 8 weeks and my cancer has progressed up into my skull, not my brain. I have what they are calling an amorphous growth behind my right orbit. Here we are using medical terms. And basically it was growing and eating away some of the fat that sits behind my right eye. So that is why my right eye now looks significantly smaller than my left eye, if you can notice that. I have had radiation treatment and it appears to have reduced the amorphous growth somewhat. Certainly I'm not feeling some of the symptoms that I was feeling before they started work on it. And I find out on Friday, today being Wednesday, I find out on Friday how much work has been done on it, and I get some idea of what the next steps are, I gather there won't be any more treatment for a while now because they like to do it in small clumps and spread as far apart as possible. But, you know, we'll see, and I will just deal with whatever comes my way. So today's video, moving on to a slightly happier subject. I've now been in my studio probably for about 2 years, and I'm getting to a feel for how it's all working and what works and what doesn't. And I had one particular area of the studio that wasn't working for me at all. And so I recorded the transition from what wasn't working to what is now working. And I hope you enjoy that video. I would very much appreciate it if you would hit like and subscribe. That helps my stats with as far as YouTube is concerned. And if you would like to buy me a coffee to help me continue to make these videos, I will put the link to the coffee website and my link down again in the description box, and that would help me out greatly. And I will see you at the end. Okay, so this is one space that isn't really working for me, and I'm specifically referring to this unit here, this clear unit here. I acquired it off Facebook Marketplace from a hairdressing salon who was refurbishing, and while it's really handy and it's got a lot of stuff in it, it's basically become a dumping ground. I haven't tried to do any organization of the stuff that I have in it, and the top shelf is just a little too tall for me to be able to reach stuff that's in it. If the shelves were a little bit closer together, it might work, but I think actually it wouldn't work because then I wouldn't have enough space to be able to get my hand in and get stuff. But it's too tall and it's too heavy, and because I can't remove the shelves, I think if these were little boxes on shelves and I could pull a box out and take it over to my craft space, that might work better. So I've been hesitating about doing anything about it because A, I paid $50 for it, even though it's broken. But B, I didn't have an alternative solution. So I was hesitant to do something about it without having any idea of what I could put in its place. So a friend of my sister's bought these for her business, and I'm not entirely sure what she thought she was going to use them for, but they're smaller than she thought they were going to be, and so she can't use them. But they're just these things with handy little drawers, and some of the drawers, where are they? Have got dividers in them so that you can make them even smaller. I have a funny feeling that some of the things that are on the other shelf that I mentioned over there might be too big to go in this, but I have to give it a try. So I thought I would bring you along on the journey with me. Now I've had these for years and years and years and years. And one of the reasons I've never used them is because I've never wanted to break open the packets. Well, I've got loads of packets, none of them are opened, they're not being used. Therefore, break open the packets, put them into drawers, I might actually have a chance of using them. See? Big, huge value pack. Now these come with little templates, so what I can do is I can put the frames in the front and the templates in the back, and as I come across more I'll add them to that drawer. Because I'm sure I've got more somewhere else. Okay. Now these might be a bit more difficult. These are Delish boxes. So I've got some ribbon. Well, that can go with my ribbon. Okay, so some sticky letters. So I think I'll put those all together so that I can keep the kind of the set, as it were, together. So we've got the alphabets and the sayings, and then it comes with some chipboard. Is that chipboard, or it looks a bit like grunge board? And then some little scraps of paper in a little folder, which won't fit in here, so I need to find somewhere else for those to live. And I think these can live with the rest of my chipboard, which is somewhere else. These are the packaging is disgusting because it's been stored in a garage. But let's see what they're. Okay, they're brads. So I think what I can do is I can take them off the card and I'll put them in with the brads from the rest of the Delish range. And the ones that are very nasty, I won't try to keep at all. You know what? Most of these are really bad. So I'm only going to keep the ones that I know are good. And the rest of them I'm just going to chuck because the rust has got through and has destroyed. That one that I just put in there fell apart as soon as I threw it in. I think that was 4 I managed to rescue from that. Don't be like me. Don't keep things in your garage for 2 years. Now these are like the Making Memories ones that I showed you earlier, but they're much thinner and they're made of aluminium, and you can emboss with a metal stamp tool whatever word you want on it. I have the alphabets, the metal embossing alphabets. I think I even know where they are, but I suspect they're still in the garage. But I've got so many of these, I might actually use these to label the fronts of these drawers. That'll be fun. I think I've got so many of them because someone was chucking them out, getting rid of them. End of line, and quite often people would just give me stuff if it was end of line. Alphabet beads. I bought these beautiful buttons years ago when I went to Liberty. As you can see, I bought them from Liberty. I'm not throwing them away until I'm really sure that I'm not going to use them. Lovely old watch faces. But I think I've got a better solution for those. Okay, that's annoying. Those fit into the drawers, but this one doesn't, and this one definitely won't. But I know I've got somewhere else where I've got jewellery findings stored, so I think I will put those with those. I was given a whole bunch of these polymer clays, and I just don't do anything to do with polymer clay, and they're not really the popular colours either, but I don't have them all. I'm not 100% certain that I've got all of them out of storage yet, so I think I'm going to put these away somewhere else until I'm 100% certain that these are all the colours that I've got, and then I will probably offer them up on my local Buy Nothing group. As if it were made for it. Does anyone else remember when bottle caps were a thing? Now I have a whole section of stuff that is steampunk related. That's all my findings and bits and pieces for steampunk. So I think I'm going to try and find space for these in those containers rather than in these containers. Now, from my market days, I've got some watches that I used to sell alongside jewellery that I made. So I'm going to, my intention is to test them, see if they're working. If they aren't working, get the batteries replaced in them, and if they are still working at that point, then try and sell them or give them as gifts to friends. So that will be the watches. And then I have these angel wing pendants. I need to clean that one, but I have these 3 angel wing pendants that don't fit into just about anything else that I've got, so they're going to have to go here. And these are ear clips shaped like dragons. So I'm going to put those with the wings. Silver ones in with the wings and then the black ones behind. And these are 2 Alice in Wonderland charms that I might see if I can find something to do with them. But they can all live together at the moment. This is about getting those plastic shells clear so that I can move them. Little teeny tiny dominoes. Now there's something else in here with the dominoes, and I have a funny feeling why I haven't used the other things is because I've not been able to find them and see what they are. So, what have we got there? Looks like Chinese luck charms. Yeah. And I'm going to take these out of the packaging, but I'm going to store them in somewhere else because they're tiny and I think they'll fall away. And I think I'll do the same thing with these. I'll show you what I'm going to do with those when I get them. Whole stack of ribbon, which probably needs to go with my ribbon collection. More charms. These are Australian signs. I must have bought these ages ago. God. I bought them in Australia, but they're Creative Imaginations, so it's a US company. $13.95. I wouldn't have bought them in the US. I would have bought them in Australia, so. Right, this is a long-term project that I'm working on. It's letters, and I've rethought how I'm going to do the painting. I'm not even sure if I've still got the canvas. But until I'm 100% certain that I don't, I'll put all of the letters in one drawer so that I can find them instead of having a dusty plastic bag kicking around. Okay, so that's the drawers, that's the plastic things empty, and then I've just got to find space for all of these things that are along here somewhere else because they either don't fit into the drawers or I don't want to put them into the drawers. I have a Santa key here which I may take inside and put in with my Christmas stuff so that I don't forget it for this year coming up. But if I gently bring you around here past the t-shirts, that's that clear shelf now empty. So I'm going to pull it down and I'm going to put those 2 sets of drawers up in its place. So this is a set of drawers that I used to have when I was working markets, and basically I had it set up so in each drawer I had this is a little display thing that was made out of foam core and velvet with a little stand on it, so I could store all of my pendants pinned to the foam core, and then when I arrived at the market it was a case of taking this out, standing it up on the table, and voila, there was a display. And then underneath each of the displays I could store other stuff, necklaces and stuff. Obviously I'm not doing markets anymore, and so this might be a useful place for me to use some of those bigger items that I can't get from that set of plastic shelves into the white ones. So I'm going to tidy that up and put stuff away. Okay, we've now got the white shelves up in place, and what I really like about them is that the boxes are clear enough that I can see kind of inside them and see what's in them. So that will make locating things a lot easier. I will eventually label them, but I'm not going to do that until I'm a little more certain of their final configuration. In addition, that little box of drawers, I've tidied it up and I've now put it into this. It fits neatly into the cube storage. So if you're looking for storage for your Kallax, this is from Really Useful Boxes. It's their 4-drawer unit and it fits quite nicely inside the Kallax. There's a little bit of space on top, so I've just stored some scrapbook paper frames there, and eventually again I will find permanent homes for things inside those. So now I'm going to show you what I'll do with those other embellishments. So I have this stack of kind of steampunky type stuff, and in here I've got some watch faces already stored. So I'm going to put the rest of the watch faces with the ones that I've currently got stored. And these are watch faces that I got from a guy on Etsy who dismantles watches, and different artists like to have different watch parts. These were made by Seven Gypsies, well, collected by David. I have no idea if Seven Gypsies actually manufactured these, but they are pretty much the same, so they can go into the same location. Right, and then see, anatomically correct hearts. Aren't they gorgeous? So I can put those together, and then that means that these from Curiosity Corner, Dovecraft, these are, they look as though they're kind of those pinch back things. But since I've learnt that I don't use things if I keep them in their packaging, I might as well take them out of their packaging, and then I've got a greater chance of using them, haven't I? Right, so there we go. So they can, that's now can go back in with the rest of my steampunk jewellery stuff. This is rubbish. Over in that unit where I've got where I've put the set of drawers, I have a whole stack of these, like probably 20 or 30 of them, and I like them because they're hopeless for beads, for little beads, because things have a tendency to, small things and flat things have a tendency to migrate across the compartments, because, let's see, the tops of these compartments don't sit completely flush with the top of the lid. But for the chunkier embellishments, I find these are really good because they're crystal clear and I can see exactly what I've got in them. They stack quite nicely. The little ridge just holds them in place, and they were dirt cheap. I would buy them for, like, I'd wait until they were on special and then I'd pick them up. I think the most I ever paid was £2 at Hobbycraft when they were on special. So I will put things like, these are Tim Holtz's hitch fasteners, which are getting harder and harder to get hold of. And again, I've not been using them because they've been in their packaging. So remove them from the packaging and I might have a chance of using them. I will give this for ideology. Their packaging is impeccable, but it does make it hard to use things. So these I bought here in Australia, and they're from Hobbycraft. Not Hobbycraft, we don't have Hobbycraft here. Spotlight. So again, I used these for a specific project. My daughter wanted to make, I think it was bracelets for everyone to take home from her birthday party one year. And she liked these hearts. And I had some chains that she could use. So we pieced them together, and each girl, because that year she only invited girls, that year each girl got to take home a little kind of steampunky type. It wasn't very steampunky. It was basically these filigree hearts, which, although they say steampunk on them, not very steampunky. And I had thought that I would take this card back to Spotlight and get my money back, but to be honest, can't be bothered. Right, these are magnetic poetry word beads. Says I paid $4.99, but I'm fairly sure, I can't remember. That was probably in pounds, to be fair, probably in pounds. But I can't remember, they were bought so long ago. I think this is going to take 2 compartments. Actually, these ones might go better in one of the drawers. So I think I'll take them out and find a drawer. In my mind, these were going to work better in here, but actually, I think they'll just be a pain if I have to dig out all 3 compartments that they're in each time I want to use a word. Ah, Brad's. How many kilometres does it say? Oh, kangaroo crossing, it says. I don't think I've ever seen a kangaroo. I can tell you now, kangaroos do not pay any attention to crossings at all. Right, and then this set, no idea where I got this one. It says over $20 in value. So it was probably gifted to me, because I'm not sure, not 100% certain that I would have spent money on charms like these, right? So we've got boats, planes, cars, cameras, so that's kind of travel. It says pre-cut out, adhesive tape enclosed. Oh, okay. So let's see what's behind the card. Oh, little foam dots. Okay, we'll find a home for those. I've got a whole stack of adhesives. Right, this one is baby. In fact, it looks as though I've got 2 baby. And you can see they're just little pressed tin charms. So they'd be good for cards or scrapbooks. I'm not sure they'd be good for jewellery. I'm not sure they'd be robust enough to use them for findings for jewellery. Okay, this one's love and hearts and cupids and padlocks. This one is sea themed, so we've got lighthouses and yachts. This one is insects. By the way, each of these packages says they've got 12 pieces in them. Okay, these were probably gifted to me by my mother because they're made in Melbourne, or they're distributed from Melbourne. But I've got a much more likelihood of using them if they're no longer in their packaging. So I will put the foam squares away with my adhesives. This will now join the boxes on the shelf. This will go into the cabinet. This one will go back away where it came from. Oh, and I nearly forgot these ones. So what am I going to do with these? Because I don't want to have one. Right. We've got space. So what have we got in here? I've got some little watch faces. So we'll put those into one compartment. Four. And then the rest of them can go in. This feels weird because I've just recorded the intro and now I'm recording the outro, and I'd like to thank you for having spent the half an hour or so that you've spent watching that video. I hope you found it useful. I find watching people in their craft rooms and watching how they store things and work out where they're going to put things, I find it absolutely fascinating, but maybe I'm just weird that way. I hope you got something out of it, and I thank you very much for spending time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.